for some peace of mind, but TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat, and someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line, and Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. Oh, I'm just sitting here scrolling my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards in wedding gear. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just...
Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, December the 10th, and it is Cosplay Wednesday, and you guys picked League of Their Own. Actually, I was always going to buy this costume because this might be my mom's favorite movie, and it is a running family joke because my mom barely calls myself and my sister the right name. Now, I want to assure you that neither of our names are anywhere close to being the same, but it's not unusual for her to call me her name or for, vice versa. So I told my mom, I was like, we're getting another one for my sister, and then we can alternate who gets to be Dottie and who gets to be their other daughter, Dottie sister. So this is going to be a family gag that I'm going to, keep it going. I'm probably going to show up in this at some point. Now, I am pretty sure that I don't get any athletic abilities with the outfit, which will be upsetting, but still pretty fun. My mom was like, so did you just buy a lot of Halloween costumes? And I was like, yeah, isn't that fun? Bless her heart. My mom doesn't get anything at all that makes me happy, but she's happy I'm happy. Well, speaking of, y'all, I don't even know what to put, but this is our daily dose of Advent absurdity, and I apologize, but I had to see it, so now you guys have to see it. In the age-old, if I have to suffer, we all have to suffer. I'm sorry for unlocking a brand new horror, because, yeah, sorry, but if I had to see it, y'all have to see it. So buckle in, y'all, because no.
2025 is nearly done, so grab your cocoa, here's the fun. Every day's a brand new spree of what the hell absurdity. From runaway, innocence on the loose to news you swear was fake, but true. Mo's got the snark, you bring the tea. It's the WFT Advent Countdown with Mosh.
And Alice, actually, Mr. Mo is probably going to be going to the post office today. When we went this weekend, it wasn't there. So he's probably going to do that before the snow comes in this evening, because apparently we're going to get snow squalls, which is a sentence I never want to say. Snow squalls, I would rather have a Sharknado with Tara Reid. I would rather house Tara Reid in my house. Anywho, I had to see this. Now, I have hated feet all my life. I'm pretty sure this is not terrifying if you don't, dislike feet to the level I do. But now I've suddenly realized I hate ears, too. Well, earlier this year, a female factory worker in somewhere in China, I guess, was involved in a terrible work accident where her hair became entangled in heavy machinery and ended up having her left ear completely torn off. Yes, OFF, off. Now, the accident didn't take her life, but it left her in need of reconstructive surgery, including reattaching her ear. Now, upon examining the woman's wound, the doctors decided that her ear couldn't immediately be reattached because, well, there were a lot of damages to the vessels and little nerves. Now, to maximize an effective, reattachment, it first needed to be fostered back to health. Yeah, you know what? Just let me not have an ear. You know what? I'll wear baseball caps. I'll go full Tim Pool. I'll wear a beanie. You will never see my ears again. Nope, just no. So they basically chose her foot as the best place to house her ear until that skin got healthier. Now, there was a little bit of an issue after 5 months of having a foot ear. Seems that some of the nerves and tissues that had grown back when her ear was attached to her foot, as one does, seems like they had to take a lot of time to fix those little blood vessels and all that, medical stuff. But she did get her ear back. And I am now genuinely horrified. I sent this to Shizzy and I said, I don't know what to do with this. I've unlocked a new terror in my mind. But this is probably the weirdest article I'm going to come across this week. So have at it. The old Earfoot, the Ballad of Earfoot. Well, I mean, in the same vein, but this isn't actually a real headline, jaw-dropping video has gone viral online that shows an airplane crashing into a car on a Florida interstate, injuring a driver. Yeah, I saw this last night or early this morning. I can't quite tell you because I tend to wake up in like 2 to 3 hour intervals. And I thought this might be AI because I wasn't quite, awake, but it turns out it was real when I woke up for real at 4. Jaw-dropping video has shown the moment an airplane dropped out of the sky and smashes into a car on a busy Florida interstate, injuring the driver of that car. Now, the fixed-wing multi-engine aircraft crashed into a 2023 Toyota Camry in the southbound lane of I-65 in Cocoa, Florida, around 5:45 p.m. on Monday, the Florida Highway Patrol said. Now, the shocking close-up dash cam footage shows the plane diving into busy rush hour roadways and careening straight into the car while attempting an emergency landing. Now, the plane rear-ended the Camry and appeared to bounce off the top before crashing down slightly to its left, sending sparks flying, according to the clip filmed from the car right behind the Camry. Now, the 57-year-old female Camry driver was taken to a local hospital and miraculously only suffered minor injuries, according to the Highway Patrol. The 27-year-old male pilot from Orlando and his 27-year-old male passenger from Temple Terrace were not injured in the freak crash either. Well, that's good. The pilot and passenger, who have not been yet named, did remain on the scene. Well, I'm glad they didn't hit and run, which I didn't think you could do in an airplane, but I guess, where there's a will, there's a way, and this is Florida. We just saw this plane drop out of the sky, said witness Jim Coffey. The plane was mere seconds away from colliding with Coffey's vehicle, but instead flew over and crashed into the other car. I noticed it was there because there's a plane right there, and I was like, hopefully it lands to the side. I thought maybe it could aim around and try not to hit the car, but it sort of mashed into it and went to the side. Now, additional photos from the aftermath of the wreck showed the crumpled truck of the car and the plane, which appears to have had its nose and wheel torn off. The FAA is going to take the lead in the investigation into the emergency landing incident. So that'll look really good. Hopefully they come up with some answers. It is generally not routine to land on a busy highway, so I'm guessing that there were some very fatal issues going on with something. Yeah, that's the other thing. If you live close to an airport, I think we live, excuse me, right along like an air flight way. So I hear noises and we live closer to a highway. So I wouldn't think about it. Well, if you have been outside, I don't think you need to know this, but a polar vortex is bringing possible major snow and, just absolute coldness On that note, does anyone know where Juicy Smollett is? I'm just saying we are going to nip this in the bud before it even happens this time. We need to know where Juicy Smollett is. I will not have another hoax. I can't deal with 5 more years of dealing with that stupid story. So he needs to be like in the Florida Keys, okay? Because if this man tries to order more Subway, I'm just going to be out. Well, another round of bold and chilling air from a polar vortex could invade central and northeastern U.S. during this weekend and potentially produce the first significant snowstorm of the season, at least for the Interstate 95 corridor, if the cold air does meet up with the moisture that's expected to come from another place. Y'all, look, I am not Ryan Hall. I would go to him or Max Vortex, any of the actual meteorologists who can do more than like, it looks like it's going to snow. I mean, I can do the Mean Girls weather report, but that's about all I can do. So do take steps to make sure that you can stay warm. Reach out to relatives that may be older or live alone. Make sure they're doing okay and stay safe and, listen to the recommendations of your localities. That's all I can say. And I hope you have your French toast fixins, because in my general area, if you didn't get your French toast fixins this weekend, you are out. You are out. You are so mean, Captain Kern. Oh, can I irritate y'all in the South? Please, it was 64 degrees here in Northeast Colorado and 71 tomorrow. You are a mean, mean jerk face. There's no crying in Snowball. My favorite was the little jerk face kid, like, you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose. Oh God, what was his name? I can't remember. I thought it was Ralphie. No, there's kind of this Midwestern tradition where if there is any snow that's supposed to possibly come in, everyone buys milk, eggs, and bread. So I always assumed everyone was just making French toast. Now, I don't know if people actually use it to get French toast, but you will find yourself the odd one out if you are not, honor and genetically bound to go run to the store for milk and eggs and bread. If French toast, I'm guessing it would be like the toast that you use for a croque monsieur, or yeah, basically it's just eggs and milk, a little bit of sugar. You coat the bread in it and fry it. MLS, I have so much driving to do today, and of course it has to snow. Normally I don't mind. I love snow, but the other drivers on the road are idiots. As one of those idiots who doesn't like and knows I can't drive well without snow, I keep myself off the road for everyone's safety. I also got married, so I won't have to drive places. So do take care. Do, make sure your pipes don't freeze. Do reach out to people that, may be older, may not have some of the resources. Try to keep yourself warm and, we can hang out because, well, the Brian Walsh case is still going on, though I am wondering if we are almost to the point, if the judge was correct, if we're almost to the point where the state's getting ready to rest. There's only supposed to be 8 to 10 witnesses on the defense. I don't know how long Old Man River's going to take. Probably 18 years.
It's past due.
Thank you. Oh, could you hand me that bag?
What?
Well, that and the dumpster fire. Thank you. You are awesome. I'll save the cats in here so they don't walk through the paint. Mr. Mo is trying to paint the floor because we have this. So I am sorry, you guys. It is cold raining here and Hagatha is not happy. So if we squirrel out a bit more this morning, it's, what it is. But this is going to be my emotional support stuffy for the trial today. But, since I have you guys here, I went ahead and you guys know I wear my Holy Roller skirts, and they were having a Black Friday sale. I actually don't know what's in here because they were basically just mystery bags, and y'all don't ever see my legs, so it doesn't matter to me exactly, what pattern I get. Now, I really hope that it's nothing like floral because I'm not a big floral chick. Like, it's the main reason I don't like LuLaRoe. Ooh, well, they're not terrible. Ooh, I'm going to a Vols game. I guess I'm going to be moving to Tennessee, y'all. We've got orange because, who doesn't need a coral? I'm guessing this is coral, but I'm going to say orange. So I'm going to all the Vol games, I guess. I'm going to have to learn what football is. And, this really cobalty blue, which I can work with. I actually don't mind either of them. Like I said, you guys, these are just really comfy skirts. I don't get them for modesty or anything like that. It's because they have shorts. That's really the reason. They've got, yeah. So, I mean, honestly, they were $25. They're normally $50 per skirt. And so here's the real issue and why I had to get more skirts. I got them at my old size, and they do have a nice waistband, which is really great. They are adjustable. The problem is that there's only so much that my old size can shrink in by the power of, elastic and these little strings. So there have been points where I have to yell to Mr. Mo because I've done something completely irresponsible, like try to put my cell phone in my skirt pocket, and I end up, skirtless at the top of the stairs. So I finally broke down and I told him, okay, hey, it's Black Friday. I don't care what colors I get. I'm getting 2 skirts and we're just going to go with it because, if I ever want to utilize said pockets, I can't do it in my current skirts, but they are comfy. So it is mod sportswear. Again, I don't use them for the modesty. They're just very comfortable, but they look like you're put together, which is one of the things. I didn't want to look schlumpy just because I couldn't wear pants. I have so many videos I have to make. I have to make one with all of my new Halloween costume stuff. I just need to get to the point, hopefully directly after or when we go on Verdict Watch with Brian Walsh, I can get that because I forget how long the days are. I have so much fun doing the trial day, but y'all, honestly, about 6 p.m., it's so dark in Indiana. We're like, Mr. Mo and I looked at each other like, is it 9 o'clock? Can we go to bed now? So that's kind of what's been going on around here. Well, y'all, honest to God, I thought Andy Dick was already dead. I am not going to lie. And that's not mean-hearted. I just thought he had already died because he was kind of always a hot mess. I mean, there's never been a point where we've had a stable Andy Dick in my remembrance of life. That all being said, my heart goes out to anyone who's struggling with addiction. It's not something I would ever wish on my worst enemy. I just thought we'd already lost him. And not callously, I thought, he's always been a hot mess. No offense to you, dude, but you've always kind of been a hot mess. So I assumed I just hadn't been paying attention. Well, the troubled comedian Andy Dick was discovered unresponsive in Hollywood on Tuesday while in the throes of an apparent overdose. Now, photos obtained by TMZ show him slumped over while sitting on stairs outside of a building in the middle of the day. The 59-year-old comedian, best known for starring in NBC sitcom News Radio and for appearing in Ben Stiller's hit comedy Zoolander, was pitched forward with his glasses resting on the ground as onlookers tried to revive him. Now, they did reach out to his representatives but have not heard back. Honestly, I hope if he's struggling, he is finally ready to accept help and get something back with his life, and not struggle with his addiction. I don't see that happening. Someone who's struggled this long, unless he's ready to get help, is just going to fall into patterns again. But I do wish the best for him if he's ready to change. Well, now this is a case that I haven't been keeping up with, but I do want to follow the trial. Again, you're going to kind of notice that I don't do the pre-trial, all the hearing stuff. I like to go into trials like the jury. Now, it's a multifactorial thing. One, I don't have a lot of time. Two, I'm kind of lazy. And three, I think it's better when I go in and can give you guys an objective sort of view on this and call balls and strikes. I sort of like to go in and let both sides try to convince me like a juror. But it is multifactorial. Look, I am a bit lazy too, not gonna lie. Well, a Kentucky sheriff who was caught on camera shooting a local judge at point blank range has admitted to the murder but pled not guilty in court. A new filing may offer insight into, his defense strategy. Lawyers representing ex-Leecher County Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins argued in court documents that he lacked the capacity to intend to shoot and kill his good friend, District Court Judge Kevin Mullins, 54, in September of 2024. Now, Stein's lawyer said the sheriff was exhibiting paranoid and psychotic conduct when he shot the judge inside his chambers. His legal team also laid out a series of potential defenses they may use in court that hinge on the former state lawman's, contemporaneous, so at the time of the incident, his state of mind, including that he had no control and suffered from pre-existing conditions and did not intend any malice. Now, that bombshell claim, which was made in court documents on November 12th, came in response to a civil suit that was filed by Mullins' widow on behalf of her and their two daughters. But it suggests that the ex-sheriff's lawyers are now mounting a possible insanity plea in his criminal case, in which Stein has pled not guilty to one count of murder of a public official. Now, if the defense does wind up proving mental health incapacitation or extreme emotional distress, Stein could be spared from the death penalty. Now, his lawyers have made insanity arguments in the past, claiming that 2 weeks of intense stress drove him to murder his longtime friend on September 19th, 2024. Now, again, it's very, very hard to prove these insanity claims because you have to basically prove, now it's different in every sort of locality, but the sort of rule of thumb is the McNaughton rule. So you have to be unaware of the rightness or wrongness of your crime. You have to be unaware of basically any reality. And it's very hard to prove that. It seems like there was a lot of shady stuff going on. And look, if I am a juror, and I've often said this, in the Karen Reed trial and other trials, look, I love a good conspiracy. Like, there was one guy who said he was sleepwalking when he murdered his wife. I love this whole, conspiracy theory Brian's trying to pull and Chandler. But if I'm a juror, I want a logical reason. I love the whole conspiracy, but it does get to a point where it seems disrespectful, where you are now actively, making or questioning my ability to discern things. You are actively trying to feed me a lie so farcical that, it wouldn't even get beyond, a script reading on the WB. So I do wonder if the defense should stick with the more I knew dirty stuff was going on, I snapped, and wouldn't that mean, a heat of passion, second degree murder? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but, again, insanity is going to be a rough one to try to pull, and they're very rarely successful. So it will be interesting to see how this defense, how the state uh, moves forward with all of the new developments and what actually goes to trial if there is a trial. Now, don't do this. New Jersey twins have been arrested over threats to, quote, take out ICE on site and unalive Kristi Noem's deputy. Yeah, don't do this. Bad idea. A pair of New Jersey twins have been arrested after they allegedly threatened Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's top assistant and pledged to take out ICE on site. Ricardo Antonio Roman Flores and Emilio Roman Flores of Abscon were taken into custody after allegedly writing on social media that they wanted to not be nice and unalive the Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. We Americans should find you, tar you, feather you. Basically, somewhat threats of a, violent-y kind towards DHS. Possibly don't do this. Now, another post from the brothers, both of whom are American citizens, allegedly saw them boasting that they would use their Second Amendment right and, go vigilante style. I'm guessing this isn't going to go well for them. Now, Emilio has been charged with unlawful possession of a weapon, possession of a prohibited weapon, conspiracy, terroristic threats, criminal coercion, threats, and cyber harassment, while his twin was only charged with conspiracy, terroristic threats. Both brothers are being held in the Abasson Police Department. Don't do this. Don't. Especially not with all the craziness that's going around. Well, if the year just couldn't get worse for Cracker Barrel, well, they are just, shooting themselves in the foot and, making it a worse year. It's almost like they saw Bud Light and said, wait a minute, we can do better. Scandal-plagued Cracker Barrel is being forced to compensate students that they turned away from the restaurant for being disabled. What in the Cracker Barrel? Do you want to go out of business? Is this 4D chess so that Steak and Shake can take over the world? Cracker Barrel has been forced to pay up after a group of disabled students who were rejected from one of the chain's Maryland stores filed suit. The restaurant chain will fork out nearly $102,000 in cost after Dr. James Crank, elementary school teachers, launched a discrimination lawsuit claiming that Cracker Barrel employees in Waldorf refused to serve the group. 11 students from 2 special education programs and 7 teachers visited the restaurant on a trip aimed to help students practice real-life social and life skills in December 2024. Now, the teachers alleged that the group was denied service and subjected to mistreatment because of the students' disabilities. Now, Cracker Barrel claimed that it was having staffing challenges at the time, but later fired a general manager and 2 employees over the incident. The restaurant has now agreed to pay each student $7,500, totaling $75,000, as well as a donation of $17,500 to several education and inclusion programs at the elementary school as part of the settlement agreement. Now, the terms also stipulate that the chain reimburse Charles County Public Schools $446.53 for expenses related to their visit and donate $9,000 to civil rights enforcement funds. The group claimed that they had called ahead to the restaurant and told them that they were told that they wouldn't need to make a reservation, but once they arrived, they were then declined service. Now, one restaurant employee even allegedly requested the location be removed from the list of businesses willing to participate in these sort of community-based instruction programs. Don't be jackasses. Don't be jackasses to kids. these parents should own that Cracker Barrel. While they were able to place a carry-out order, father of a 7-year-old nonverbal daughter, Dustin Reed, said the incident broke his heart. Pushed off to the side, not even paid attention to, the only thing they wanted to do was go in there and eat some food and enjoy their time and learn from it. Now, according to the state's Attorney General, Anthony Brown, the teachers alleged that their group experienced delays and mistreatments because of the students' disabilities. Now, one of the parents on Facebook said that their daughter had been one of the students involved in the incident, and she said that there was a general just sense of rudeness and refusal to provide service, and it was just throughout the restaurant staff. What is wrong with people? Let's see. My daughter was the one whose adaptive stroller was bumped into repeatedly by a staff member. Due to the severity of her intellectual disability, she was likely unaware of what happened, which was unfortunately not the case for her classmates. Again, don't be an absolute douchebag, and I never want to go to Cracker Barrel again. I mean, just absolutely awful. I have to use a walker once in a while. And while I try to be very mindful of, everyone in the way, these are kids. These are kids that are just trying to learn some life skills. Don't be a douche. Well, I actually forgot about this case, which is terrible to say. But if you remember the accused Georgia high school mass casualty person, Colt Gray, well, he is in court again. The teen accused of carrying out a deadly shooting in a Georgia high school debuted a drastically different appearance during his court hearing on Tuesday. He is now 15 years old, and he arrived dressed in just civilian clothes. I'm not going to give you guys a fashion thing. Now, attorney Aisha Broderick has been appointed to represent Gray. She was appointed in October, and she told the courtroom that they're still awaiting a medical evaluation on him to be completed, which will help determine, additional motive or motions that the defense intends to file and will guide the direction of their case. Now, this evaluation is set to be complete by the end of February. Now, in May, his previous defense attorney, Alfonso D. Kraft, signaled to Barlow County Superior Court Judge Nick Prim that the teen was moving toward pleading guilty after a visit with a psychologist. Hopefully, he does plead guilty and spares the families of a trial. However, he is afforded due process. If he would like to go to trial, then the state is honor bound to prove that he went and did every single one of these things. Now, the interesting portion to this case, at least legally, is that grand jurors have also charged his father, Colin Gray, for allegedly giving his son the rifle for Christmas, and that's the one that he used in this. So he's been hit with 29 counts, including 2 counts of second-degree murder and 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. So again, this is that slippery slope that we saw with the Crumblies. At what point, are parents liable for what their children do, and to what extent? I do believe that there are different fact patterns in sort of the behavior of the father in this particular case versus the Crumblies. I do wonder if because I haven't looked at this case in detail, what the actual fact pattern is. I do believe, when first reporting on this, he did have a troubled home life. But it will be interesting to see the different fact patterns, because I do wonder about this move to start holding parents responsible and whether it's right or wrong, because I can see both sides. And I'm not a lawyer. I think you could probably argue both sides. And, what is right is probably, down to perspective. Well, Australia is the first nation to ban social media for kids. And do you know what I'm seeing on TikTok? Apparently kids are just using pictures of older people, copying a picture of an older person on like their laptop, taking a picture of that older person with their phone, and that's how they're getting in. So I get what they're trying to do, but I don't I didn't sign up to co-parent with the government for my children. Well, starting December the 10th, today, Australia is the first country that will ban social media for children under the age of 16. Australia's Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, wrote about the move in an opinion essay that was posted on December 7th, saying that the ban will be one of the biggest social and cultural changes that the nation has faced. Now, he's confident that it will be a positive change, protecting Australian children from dangers of engaging with strangers online and the mental health impacts of cyberbullying. Now, it's up to social media companies, including TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Snapchat, YouTube, and others, to now ensure that children under 16 aren't using their platforms, and companies that fail to block kids from their site will face substantial fines. Now, there are no penalties for the children who do gain access to these platforms or their parents or caregivers at this time. Again, you give the government any reason to step into your life. That's only the first little step they're taking. And the next thing you know, parents are going to be hauled in front of a tribunal if their kid learns how to get around parental guidance. Now, while the ban is controversial in some circles, many parents and mental health advocates are celebrating and wondering if something similar could ever be enforced in the United States. Good luck. Nearly half of teens say they spend way too much time on social media, according to 2024 data from the Pew Research Center. Again, I understand this is a problem, but I think it needs to be handled on a family-by-family basis. I don't want daddy government telling me what to do. And again, if you don't, so this is like, I kind of see it the same way I see it as the kids who are never allowed candy. And then when they get out on their own, they have no ability to control themselves. You know, yes, I don't let my kids run all over the interwebs and have, secret random friends. But I also let them, experience some situations with my guidance, like, hey, my friend isn't really nice to me all the time and they don't seem to be very friendly to me. Oh, well, then do you think they're really your friend? It only seems like they talk to me when, they want something from my, look, I don't play video games, but like from their little treasure chest. And I was like, well, wow, does that seem like a really good friend? And they say, my youngest, most feral will say, no, that. And I was like, well, would you do that to a friend? And he said, no, I wouldn't. I was like, well, then maybe that's not your friend. Again, he probably learned more from that, just having me around to, kind of work out that issue than if he'd never had any experience of all that. And look, I'm not a genius. I'm not Oprah or Jesus. So I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to do that. But hey, we're all just human here trying to keep our children, out of prison and off of parole. Well, in wonderful news, at least for this father and son, who were stranded in the Florida Everglades, they were rescued before the alligators got them. A man and his son were safely rescued after being stranded in Big Cypress National Park Preserve and surrounded by hungry alligators. Now, the father and son, whose identities have not yet been revealed, were riding ATVs in the Florida Everglades in Big Cypress National Preserve on December the 4th. About 30 minutes before sunset, the father called 911 and said they'd gotten stuck when the vehicle ran out of gas. We got stuck in a mud hole, the father is heard saying to the 911 audio dispatch. Now we're just stranded pretty far. He later added that he used the remainder of the vehicle's fuel trying to get out of the mud. The man said that he and his son were almost out of the water and had no food and no flashlights. They were kind of in a very bad way. They were also barefoot because they'd lost their shoes in the thick mud. As the sun began to set, they were able to start a fire to stay warm, but they still had to face the wildlife. The sun's going to go down and the alligators are hungry, buddy, the man said. And then when the sun goes out in the middle of the Everglades, you need to get people out. Now, first responders were able to locate them via helicopter, and footage does show the pair waving their arms to attract attention to get them. They were rescued from the Everglades via a helicopter just before the sun set, and no one was injured. So that is good. Yeah, it's now, of course, this would be from my hometown, and I just gotta say, don't DoorDash in Indiana. It's a bad idea. On an Arby's order, too? Like, why are you gonna insult some curly fries over here? A DoorDash driver is accused of pepper spraying a customer's Arby's order, resulting in the wife falling pretty violently ill for a bit. Caught red pepper handed, a DoorDash driver has been banned from the app after being accused of dousing an order in pepper spray and causing an unsuspecting customer to get sick after eating the tainted food. Now, the sick act was caught on a doorbell camera outside of Evansville, Indiana, just after midnight on Saturday. Again, criminals. I get that you only use your brain like every other leap year, and I appreciate that you're thinking hobbyist, that you don't, use your gray matter very often, so you do dumb stuff like this. But do you not realize that everyone and their mom has a Ring doorbell camera? Like, Smile, you're on candid camera all the time, and you also carry an electronic snitch with you all the time. And I'm guessing you probably TikToked your dumbass self doing it. Now, the driver has not yet been charged with any crime, but they were dropping off an Arby's delivery to Mark Cardin and his wife Mandy when she snapped a confirmation photo before suddenly producing an object from her pocket and spraying the order. The blue-haired worker just placed the spray back into her pocket before walking away, all in front of the camera. She took crime lessons from Brian Walsh. Now, the couple brought their order inside, unaware that anything was wrong, and began eating. Moments later, Mandy was struggling to breathe. I noticed my wife had started eating and she was choking and gasping. Now, I have a couple questions. Doesn't pepper spray smell? Couldn't you smell pepper spray? I mean, I'm just, like, I'm guessing it would have a smell to it. So if you get your package and it smells like capsaicin, do you just like pepper spray? I don't know. So she actually started throwing up. Now, the horrified customer began to investigate the cause of his wife's sudden illness when he examined the order. I looked in the bag and I saw there was some kind of spray or something. The bag was tampered with, so I pulled my doorbell camera and I saw the lady who dropped off the food had actually tampered with it on purpose for some reason. Now, Cardin shared photos and videos of the driver to Facebook asking for help identifying the driver. And he attempted to contact her but found that she'd already blocked him on the app. He reported the food runner's stunt to DoorDash, and the Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Office is looking for the driver to charge her. So it's not that she hasn't got charged yet, but we need to identify her. Now, the driver has been banned from the app after footage surfaced of the late night delivery. We have a zero tolerance policy for this type of appalling behavior. The dasher in question has been permanently removed from the platform, and our team is standing by to support law enforcement with any investigation. Now, he doesn't exactly know what was sprayed on the food, but feared it could have been worse than it was. Cardin said, "We assume it's pepper spray, and that's more than likely what it is. But now in this day and age, it could have been anything, So yeah, don't do this." Now, the Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Office has opened an investigation into the driver and would charge her with consumer product tampering, a level 6 felony. If the foreign spray resulted in harm to the charge could be increased to a level 5 felony. So yeah, I'm guessing with bright blue hair in Evansville, Indiana, you're going to be found. Maybe don't. I mean, maybe don't be a homewrecker if you're a TikToker. This is a legal story I never thought I'd see. A North Carolina TikTok influencer has been ordered to pay $1.75 million for breaking up a marriage. Don't be a hoe. Divorce can be costly, but as it turns out, so can infidelity. If you had an affair with a married person that ended the marriage, their spouse may be able to sue you, especially if you live in one of these 6 states. Oh, crap. One social media influencer is now discovering the legal and financial ramifications of her affair with her manager, who was married to another woman at the time. North Carolina-based Brene Kenyard, whose TikTok channel boasts 2.9 million followers. One is known for her lifestyle and plus-size beauty content. But more recently, she's gained infamy for running afoul of her state's alienation of affection and criminal conversion laws after being accused of breaking up her manager's marriage and having adulterous sex, according to reports citing the case. Now, on November 10th, Kenyard was ordered to pay $1.75 million to her manager's ex-wife. Yeah, don't do this. Let's see where the state is. Where is... So it looks like it's... Okay. So the states that still have this, there are only 6 states: North Carolina, Hawaii, Mississippi, New Mexico, South Dakota, and Utah. So don't get married in them states or don't wreck anyone's marriage. How about just don't cheat on each other? I know that's crazy. I know it's a concept that's going to be nuts, but how about we just don't be absolute jackasses to each other? Well, we got one for Snake Island. And it's double gross just because it's an insult to the uniform, allegedly.
It's a curse, we've got a room for the wicked, the cruel and the worst. If you lie, if you cheat, if your soul's made of bile, you're bound for the fangs and the venom in style. Oh, one-way ticket to Snake Island. Oh, let the conscience, less cowards and gaslighters go. No anchor, no lifeboat, no tearful goodbyes. Trust isn't in company, cold-blooded skies. Best as your friend.
This is so gross on so many levels, but the fact that the Army probably trained this gynecologist to then have him perpetrate grossness on recruits, just Snake Island. No, do not pass go. An Army gynecologist has been charged with secretly filming 44 female patients during medical exams at a Texas military base. And he's probably seeing not only, actual military service members, but their family members as well. A twisted Army gynecologist was charged with secretly filming and photographing dozens of female patients during medical exams at a Texas military hospital this year. This has been announced Tuesday, so yesterday. Major Blaine McGraw, 47, was slapped with a mountain of charges for the sickening voyeuristic acts against 44 patients under his care at Carl R. Darnell Army Medical Center in Fort Hood between January and December, according to the Army Office of Special Trials. Now, authorities said that one patient was recorded inside of her home off the military base. The shocking arrest comes more than a week after he was thrown behind bars on the 2nd for violating orders from his commander amid a string of patient allegations of both sexual and professional misconduct. Now, the Army did launch an investigation and suspended McGraw from his post on October 17th after a female patient identified as Jane Doe filed a civil lawsuit accusing him of repeatedly groping her and secretly filming her during a recent pelvic and breast exam. Oh, dude, Snake Island. Now, McGraw was moved from all patient care duties and access to electronic records to ensure patient safety, and all personnel involved were continuously accounted for, according to Fort Hood in a December 4th statement. The criminal investigation is ongoing. Now, he's also accused of violating patients at his previous duty station, Tripler Army Medical Center in Hawaii, where he was assigned from 2019 to 2023 while completing his residency. The Army has since notified nearly 3,000 patients McGraw treated at Fort Hood and in Oahu, warning them about the investigation and urging them to complete a questionnaire detailing their encounters with the accused gross man. Now, according to military officials, the sources, basically all of these have been sent out to 3,000 patients. Now, more than 100 women have come forward claiming they were victims of his disturbing behavior. My clients are relieved And attorney Andrew Kobos, whose firm is representing 75 of the accusers, told the Military Times, "For the first time since October 17th, they feel safe knowing McGraw is in jail. Major McGraw demonstrated he could not be trusted. He disobeyed orders, and he should remain confined until he's been tried for his actions." The Army's Criminal Investigation Division has combed through more than half a terabyte of digital media and conducted hundreds of interviews. McGraw has been charged with 54 counts of indecent visual recording, 5 counts of conduct unbecoming an officer, willful disobedience of a superior officer, and making a false official statement. Now he is being held in pretrial confinement at Bell County Jail in Belton. Throw away the key. Run away. Do not pass go. Well, not a trial I covered, but definitely an update you guys might be interested in. The former clerk in South Carolina who helped out with the murder trial of attorney Alex Murdaugh has pled guilty Monday to criminal charges for showing sealed court exhibits to a photographer and lying about it in court. Former Colton County clerk of court Mary Rebecca Becky Hill pled guilty in Colton County Circuit Court to 4 charges: obstruction of justice, perjury for showing a reporter photographs that were sealed, court exhibits, and then lying about it, as well as 2 counts of misconduct in office for taking bonuses and promoting her public office, basically using her public office to promote a book she wrote about the trial. All of the charges were felony level. Now, Hill, 57, also faced a misdemeanor charge of perjury in Richland County, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division said in a news release after her arrest earlier this year. Judge Heath Taylor sentenced Hill to a year of probation, and the judge told Hill her sentence could have been much harsher if prosecutors had found that she'd tampered with the Murdaugh jury. Hill read a short statement where she asked the judge for a chance to do better. "There's no excuse for the mistakes I made. I'm ashamed of them," she said. Hill was charged with taking care of the jury, overseeing exhibits, and helping the judge during Murdaugh's 6-week trial that ended with a murder conviction for killing his wife and son. So again, I think she might have tampered with the jury, but I didn't follow this case all that well. I think there were allegations that she did do a bit more with the jury than was kosher, but it doesn't seem that she's been charged with that. So there you go. And y'all, I just had to pull this up because I remembered the denim matching outfits and thinking, am I in the 8th level of hell? Did Dante foretell this? So I just remember this particular look so much, and I was like, who thought this would look good? Did no one have any fashion person next to them? I don't know why that just, that just made me laugh. And now for the part that we all like, where I introduce you to the crazy clips that I find, because I find them for you guys to help you laugh, giggle, have a little bit of fun in the morning. Because the headlines are honestly sometimes, well, just quite terrible. Now, I found this on last night, so if it turns out to get copyright, I will just simply clip it out. But it literally had me laughing and rolling. This gentleman does possibly the funniest animal sort of information. Let me get his name is Z Frank. So Z-E and then Frank. Possibly it made me laugh so loud I was snort laughing. So we're only going to watch a little bit of it, but go watch some of his videos. They will make you snort laugh.
It was a bit of a rodent situation. Things had cooled off a bit, and the emerging grasslands were perfect for general rodent activities. Around the same time, there was a group of emerging carnivores, the mustelids, that saw all of this as an opportunity for a buffet. Now, the innovation of the rodent, those meatballs of the field, was the ability to...
I was like, meatballs of the field, you had me at hello. I was like, I loved it. I was sold meatball of the field.
Dig and burrow with their claws and ever-growing front teeth. And it can be a challenge if your favorite snack is packaged in a maze of tunnels. So the innovation of the mustelids, like this one right here, was to develop a body plan that could go right into the tunnels after them. Their bodies got longer and their legs shorter until they took the form of a kitten snake, which is obviously awesome.
Why didn't we call them kitten snakes? I demand a recount, because I would change my vote to kitten snakes. Because kitten snake sounds, I mean, it would be what I call them. Again, probably the reason I wasn't in charge of naming animals.
But there's trade-offs just like anything else. You can see how good a ferret is in a tunnel. I mean, that's some crouched down walking right there. But if you're all stretched out like that, you're basically planking the whole time. And it's a great ab workout, but it takes some doing. So when they walk out in the open, they arch their backs and bring their legs closer together to better bear the weight. On the plus side, they can use their bodies like a spring when they run. Here's a demonstration by a least weasel. It's a ridiculous name. I can think of plenty of things lesser.
Mr. Mo came in as I'm watching this, like laughing, crying, tears, just because I don't know why, but it just struck me as incredibly funny last night. God knew I need to see something about weird ferrets, and he was like, here, your algorithm, you ask, and your algorithm will,
Weasels and that. Your mom's screwdriver. That's less. Sudoku. I could go on. Your mom. Sorry, just wanted to say that. Anyway, these stretched out...
And then he made a your mom joke, and I was like, sold. You have a new sub.
Rodent hunters became quite successful and evolved into a diverse group of animals alive today. One thing, though, that they all seem to have in common is that they're fierce little f***ers. I mean, no wonder. That's what happens when you spend a few million years hunting in a hole. Think about it. It's pitch black down there. You're in a narrow tube and the thing you're hunting has teeth that can chew through wood. Jerry, this doesn't look intimidating. It looks like it forgot its lines at an audition. Well, this one's even worse, Jerry. It looks like Mr. Magoo is a Furby. That line dates me, doesn't it? Anyway,
Yeah, Mr. Magoo as a Furby. I was about dead.
deal with rodents that I believe would be scary coming at you in a tunnel, mustelids evolved disproportionately strong jaws. Many animals go wider when they want a stronger bite, but mustelids went long, with lots of leverage for those muscles to work through. And the connection between the lower and upper jaw is a strong, tight fit, stays together even as a skull. A dog or a human lower jaw just falls off. Anyway, having spent their evolutionary childhood performing face-first colonoscopies of rodent tunnels, mustelids...
Face-first colonoscopies of rodent tunnels. I was like, that sounds like something I would say.
Were plenty ready to f*** things up when they ventured out into the rest of the world. The mustelid, perhaps best known for its bad acidness, is the honey badger, with its ability to fart bees and squirt acid from its nipples. Jerry, that's obviously not true. What do you mean how Jerry, nothing...
Fart bees and squirt acid out its nipples. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and just think, yeah, headcanon totally happened.
Farts bees, all right? Do your job. Anyway, here you can see a honey badger that has a python right where it wants it. Jerry, again, that honey badger's clearly f***ed. Look at it. Oh, great, now it's going to be eviscerated by jackals. Oh, shit, you were right. That's crazy. I mean, the snake definitely thought this was going to end different. Fine, Jerry, I did too. Oh, now they're doing the spaghetti scene from the dog movie, Lady and the Tramp. I mean, that's always been a horror movie, from the point of view of the noodle. But you can see...
It's always been a horror movie from the point of view of the noodle. You know, I never thought of it that way, but yeah, I guess it would be quite terrifying.
See that the rest of the animal kingdom is still trying to catch up to what mustelids are capable of. They can go wherever they want. A number of mustelids followed the rodents into the forests, like these stoats who were filmed by the naturalist Robert E. Fuller, who's very good at what he does. May not be as many tunnels, but there's certainly burrows and nests to raid. Listen, someone had to make sure that the squirrels don't get too sassy. Look at it licking its chops. And if you didn't know, squirrels are f***ing fast. But that's fine for the stoat. It'll try after anything. Check this out. It's straight up diving shot for the bird. And the other one's so confused. And look at this stoat. It's actually thinking about it. That's the most delayed reaction from the pheasant. But of course, sometimes you'll have to settle for an egg. I mean, that's one way to scramble it, isn't it? It's not even a dad joke. It's just like a dad observation. I mean, if you're that size and...
It's not even a dad joke. It's a dad observation. They are officially kitten snakes in the Church of Mo. We will not tolerate any mention of ferrets. They are kitten snakes.
Egg will make you an omelet big enough to wear as a poncho. But listen, I don't mean to make it sound like rodents are pushovers. A rat, for example, will put up quite a fight. I mean, look at that. The rat goes right in, and the stoat's like, finally, someone worthy. And then it gets all crouching tiger, hidden dragon from there. And sometimes you gotta know when to give up. But I certainly don't want to give you the impression that these smaller mustelids are all piss and vinegar. I mean, they have a softer side as well. Look at this one stretching out in his den. He's even got a little pillow. Oh God, that's a dead mouse. I have to admit, it's pretty metal using a corpse for neck support. But here's a little nuptial scene. Oh, she's pissed. Look at that side eye. That's amazing. He's totally come home drunk. Probably out drinking with the rat and lost track of time.
No, he threw out her throw pillows. He threw out that rat that she was using as a throw pillow. He's like, we don't need throw pillows. And she's like, dude, I went to 5 different stores to find a gray mouse that would go with the grays of our nest. And you ate him. That's the real problem.
She's having none of it, and he knows it too. Right there is the stoat equivalent of sleeping on the couch. Because they can get very cuddly. You think your legs get tangled up under the sheets? Try your whole torso like a weasel do. I mean, foreplay can look like a Cirque du Soleil act. And you know what that leads to? Weasel sex, right? I mean, that looks very similar to killing, actually. But on the bright side, it goes on for about 90 minutes.
Looks very similar to a homicide. On the plus side, 90 minutes.
Oh, there's that. Now, the embryos of most mustelids don't necessarily implant right away. They can remain in diapause until the conditions are right to make sure the little
I want to say that that's not actual footage of how the young
implant
ferals
right away.
interact,
They can
but
remain
that is
in
in fact
diapause until the conditions are
footage
right
of the
to make
youngest
sure
two
the little
ferals.
babies have a chance. I mean, right out the gate, you wouldn't want these cute little bastards to have to make it through a winter. And winters can be challenging for mustelids. That long body means that they lose heat quickly, and they don't hibernate, so they've had to adapt. Maybe the most remarkable is that some mustelids, including this least weasel, again with the name, I mean, it is around the size of a hot dog, so I'll let it slide. Anyway, they reduce the size of their brain case and their brains during the winter. They've got a high metabolism.
Wait, you know, this could, am I part ferret? Because honestly, since it's gotten cold, I feel dumber. But, I mean, that's neither here nor there. That explains a lot, though, because it's cold.
And that brain takes a lot of energy, so why not? You want to sell your car to a weasel, do it in January. If you don't have CuriosityStream, it's time to get it. They have an amazing collection of documentary films, shows, and series that you can't find anywhere else. Look at all of it.
I don't want to get his whole video, but he did a really good job and it made me laugh. Now, this is the latest from our lovely possum lady, and is she trying to look like me? Is she trying to pull a Mo? Is she going into wigs? Also, what happened to the possums? Where'd they go?
Over with. I am Winnie Finn, and this is Choochie. We are fragments of the fractured personality of Georgette Spelvin. You're a little fragment, short and stout. Here's your...
You know, I have strange Fig Newtons of my own imagination. I just never thought I'd be unwillingly stuck into someone else's. You know, I might have a wig that looks very much like this for my Donna costume, so we might be able to do this. I just have to go look to see if anyone has a stuffed possum.
Your muzzle, here's your snout. What? I have been asked to share my insights on aging. Well, at first I was offended. I'm not old. But then I realized To anyone under 30, everyone over 50 looks alike. Besides, I've got things to say, so listen up. This will be good for you.
Oh hell, me Pearl is having her Tawanda moment. Buckle in, y'all. It's about to get southern up in here.
If approached by an older person, do not say, "Why, hello, young lady. What can I do for you today, young man?" Because what you're really saying is, "Oh, I see you're old. I'm going to be cute about it."
Would you rather us say thank you for building the Magna Carta and I wonder what it was like when mastodons ruled the earth? Or would you like us to pretend to, try to be a little bit charitable, kind about it and accept reality?
It's not cute. Don't do it. And do not rush in to help an older person who has demonstrated no need or desire for that help. Do not take packages out of my arms, or move my chair, or push open a door I've already reached for. And goddess forbid, do not try to help me across the street. It is in.
Okay, so at this point, I will just avoid the elderly to not piss them off and also, not have my gestures of respect and, trying to help you. Look, I'm just going to avoid old people from now on. Again, look, I get it. It would piss me off if someone would just take things out of my arm, but people do that to me when I'm with my walker. It's not from, them thinking you're bad or horrible or you can't do stuff. It's from a genuine, most of the time, they want to help, but they don't figure that they should ask first or maybe approach you. But it's mostly out of kindness. Don't.
Insulting, and you could get hurt. If you want to help me, be around, but I'm trying to get an item out of durable plastic wrapping. This leaves me very angry with a knife in my hand. Not a good...
I keep her away from plastic packaging. Also, is this Courtney Clenny in 70 years? Because, if so, again, keep Courtney Clenny away from sharp packaging.
Combination. Nora Ephron once said, if she were stranded on a desert island with food sealed in plastic packaging, she would starve to death. And while we're at it, if you look at my dog, do not get that syrupy sound and say, "Aww, aww." How old is your dog? Young enough to bite. And if she's not...
Fine. You know what? I'm not going to interact with you at all. Because again, these are just things that people are trying to be nice to you. What are you supposed to say? He looks like a savage. Did you get him after, watching Cujo? Or like, I think if I punted him, I'd get some good hang time. Ma'am, if you don't like people, do what I do. It's called being inside cat. When I go outside, I at least pretend to be a nice, loving human. At least for as long as the pills last.
I am. Or, why? Why? She's 12. How old are you? It's rude. Don't do it. Don't do it.
How about we not shove the Pomeranian off the table? What the hell is going on here?
And if goddess forbid my dog should pass away, it is insensitive to say, will you be getting another dog? It's like asking a new widow, will you be getting another husband?
After a short waiting period and only if he has abs and the ability to keep me in the Sailor Moon to which I feel I should become accustomed. I have a whole application. Oh, was that not the right answer?
Dogs are no more replaceable than other family members. To be continued. You're a little fragment, short and stout. There's your muzzle. There's your snout. There's your snout. Sprinkle you with stardust. Watch you sprout. What?
Yeah, I mean, no, totally normal. And the last clip that will live in infamy today. It is Captain Hook's Sharky rap. I am imagining this is only going to be the most cringe-hilarious thing I have seen, and I am here for it. Captain Hook rapping. Apparently, both audio and visual is brought to you by Fulton County Courthouse. And, the production was filmed on a Casio Speak and Spell.
My name is Sharky and I'm part of the crew. I've got a pirate rap just for you. We're sailing these seas to let you know it's not always...
Is that a man, woman, semi-undercover Asian? What is going on here? I feel like this was a female puppet and they realized they got a girl and they were like, you know what? We'll make it work.
Cool to go with the flow. Buddy. Well, shiver my timbers, let's take a look. Who's this a-coming? It's Captain Hook. He's a hero of kids and a parent's friend. He's using his hook to an admirable end.
Okay, guys, look, as a person who can barely dance, walk, and chew gum at the same time, even I can do a change step, in generally on the rhythm and sort of in the same timing as the other person. Y'all probably practice this for 2 weeks and not a one of you are on a beat or in the same general timing as your friend.
Pirate Adventures with Captain Hook. It's reaching into every nook. In thousands of cities, day and night, reaching families with the gospel light.
I think we have now finally figured out what is wrong with millennials. They were exposed to this.
We docked our ship here in the city. For more info, as first mate Smitty.
Captain guides us to our goal. He's the pilot of the ship and the master of the soul. Like a mighty fleet of ships, we move leading strong. Sailing on the more shores, won't you come along? We are not divided, we are in unity, able to withstand the dangers of the sea.
Look at all these cute girls. Now you land lovers, you should know it's not always cool to go with the flow. If you want to know how to make this change, believe in your heart and trust in his name.
I do like seeing young Chris Farley. I never knew he was so into pirate musical things.
Hoist the sails, it's time to cruise. Sail with Jesus and you'll never lose.
Sail with Jesus and you'll never lose. Now, I know this is a kids show, but I'm guessing that pirates weren't really aligned with Christianity at all, doing pirate stuff. But there you go. Pirates for Jesus. You heard it here. Somalia is his favorite hangout. What the hell is this? why kids have so, this is why my adult friends are so messed up. We were,
Sharky, did you ever ride a hook? Are you trying to threaten me? Sure am.
did they just say, Sharky, did you ever ride a hook? I give up. Humanity is amazing. Somewhere, someone thought this up.
Look at all those cute girls.
Okay, wait. You just said that we should sail with Jesus, and then you're like, look at all these hot girls. I feel like Jesus doesn't approve of piracy to go find girls. But, not having been alive during the, pirate era, I don't know. But you guys, we are looking at day 8 in the Brian Walsh trial. I will be starting at 10:30. Hopefully we will be getting maybe a little bit of clarification as to maybe the schedule. I have noticed this judge is incredible. In the morning before the jury shows up, she generally kind of has both sides give a sort of, tentative plan of how the day is going to go. So we might be getting some more kind of real concrete basis as to how long this trial is going to be. I was actually really, really shocked that the judge said anything about the state or the evidence possibly being closed today. I assumed that we were going to have a lot more DNA because not all of the tools that were used had been tested or brought into evidence. And maybe we can get some clarification as to the 2 very long sidebars that happened yesterday in the morning, because the only thing I can think is that maybe today is going to be the end of, actual testimony, and they were working on, because the judge did make very clear that they were to work on some homework. That had me thinking maybe jury instructions, but this is all, of course, speculation. And thank you guys so much for voting for Cosplay Wednesday. Hopefully, we should be able to get a video up of all the unboxing for my costumes. I have one for an upcoming, no, I'm Kit, I'm not Dottie, but Dottie's sister. Not Rosie O'Donnell. At least not now. I'd rather be Madonna if I have to choose. Well, not Gina Davis. But that's kind of where we are today. So thank you guys so much for voting. I usually try to put up this week or the Wednesday's choices on Monday. So, vote early, vote often, because you guys get to pick which most shows on Wednesdays. I had a lot of fun. This is actually a fairly simple thing. The only problem is I've noticed that I have changed sizes in everything except for the chestular region. So I will have to do some adjustments when I get my sewing room back, because I've noticed, I've deflated everywhere. Which problems no one generally cries about. But yeah, I was just like, Mr. Mo, I need help and I need my sewing area up. So he's going to go work on flooring. I am going to be here watching Brian Walsh with you guys, trying to stay warm. And then hopefully I will be on tomorrow and we will be able to stream. But there are going to be some pretty intense snowstorms with really heavy wind coming through my neck of the woods tonight. And since I do have rural internet, it may or may not go out. So I will hopefully be here tomorrow morning. But if not, I hope everyone stays warm. Carry a can of bitch fire with you just to keep warm at this point. I will see you guys in a little bit. Thank you so much for joining me. And I do have you guys set up to, hop over to my 10:30 stream, but you are free to go on the interwebs wherever you want to go. And I will see you in just a bit. Bye, you guys.